this is the last presentation of today's session. We didn't know exactly the profile of people who will come. We made a bit of, let's say, research on the contacts that we got. But you never know if 100% of people will come, or 80% or 70%. So I'm really, really happy to see this big number of people interested in partnerships and growth. But because of that, and we didn't know if you were advanced in partnerships, starting with partnerships, in the middle of the way, maybe just jumping into the position, maybe just trying to learn a bit more, I wanted to share 10 things I learned managing partnerships. So it's not as, let's say, advanced as Lucas's presentation, or not that trendy maybe as what Matthias presented at the beginning, but it's more about like a hands-on experience of someone who has been jumping into this or similar roles in the past. A bit of my background: I started initially as a psychologist, then I decided to move towards business. I studied also business management and so on. So my story was a bit different, and it connects me to Trackdesk because I have this profile that I also like creating content and doing other things. So for many companies, I was like this hybrid that nobody wanted. But for some companies, it was like this unique guy that can help us with many things. And this is what I think from Trackdesk, that in the end, it's been a journey of also experimenting with a few things. So this is one of our experiments, that we wanted to have something that will be like meetup, connecting, real life experiences, real people seeing each other, and not just online business in front of the screen all the time. So I'm very glad that this is happening. For sure, this is going to be repeated maybe in around 2-3 months. So be aware, we'll send you an invitation and you will be invited again. And in the meantime, I've been transiting through positions that are connected more to psychology, management, then sales, then managing projects, international projects, local projects, different type of customers, and so on. And over time, I've been moving now towards more like the partnerships role. So on one seat, on one, let's say, chair, I'm sitting on the sales position guy who started the sales at Trackdesk and building a team. And also my other chair is slowly moving towards partnerships and trying to bring some of the knowledge. And we thought, like, why not putting, let's say, partnerships under sales? I don't know what is your experience, but in our case, it's proving to go better than maybe some experiments that we did in the past. So I would like to share that experience with you, and I will start with the basics. First thing that I learned is that someone has to be in charge. And this I heard on some webinars where I was being the host and having people talking about it. They were saying, you know what, Alejandro, the programs that succeed and work is because someone is in charge. Someone wakes up in the morning with the feeling that I need to develop these relationships. I want to do business in this direction. I have a good time working with my partners. I can learn from them. They learn from me. Also, when they see that there's commitment from the top management of the company, that they see that this is the way to go, that there's growth and money in this direction, that is also about building, let's say, bigger and stronger foundation for the company. So it's basically the outcome of this is, you know what, it's nice. Everybody wants to have partners and people bringing them business, but someone has to lead it. In the end, if nobody is there to answer the emails, to reply to the conversations, to drive the discussions, everything vanishes. And if everything slows down because of bureaucracy or decision making, because there's other people who want to comment on this, then it will stop. Someone has to, be in charge and make the decisions. So that's the first thing I learned. Second thing is that we're talking to real people, right? So they will have motivations, some things will make them excited, everybody will be different. Some people say like, no, I don't want to be part of webinar, I don't like talking to people. And some people will say like, great, yes, I want to talk, I want to be there, I want to be sharing my experience because I learned so much. Oh my God, Alejandro, let's do it. So they will be very excited about this. Then you meet them in person one day, right? and you're going to go maybe for dinner. Is it going to be awkward or not? So you need to know some things about them. You need to be able to chit chat, to engage in their conversation, to interest in what motivates them, because you will find out that there's many things that make them excited, same as you, and you will find like common grounds for experimenting and for innovation in terms of how you're going to develop that partnership. And also, I was hearing this from the same webinars of people working with affiliates. They were saying like, if you're working directly with affiliates or content creators or influencers, whoever it is, you need to know them. You need to know who they are, where they're sitting, how they work, how much effort they put into things, how much seriously they take their job or not. So all these are important learnings that will help you drive the conversation with the people, engage with them, and commit in long-term relationships in a much better way. Third learning is reciprocity, but give before you take. Traveling to the conferences that Martin was mentioning at the beginning, Bangkok, Vegas, Dubai, everybody wants to make business, but everybody wants your business. And not many times they're willing to share their business with you. Not proactively, not from the beginning. They first want to hear like, okay, can you send me some leads? I want this traffic, I want this, I want that. Okay, but what are you gonna do for me? Like, well, I'm not sure how we can collaborate, but for sure you're gonna send me something because I can pay you like huge referral fee. Okay, sounds good, but it has to work both ways. So how about, for example, we plan some LinkedIn Exchange posts? Yeah, maybe yes, maybe not. How about some webinars? Who are your customers? And then you start investigating a bit more. And yeah, true, maybe many partnerships don't make sense. But I've seen that the ones that actually succeed over time are the ones that either I took the first step towards helping the other person, or the other person took the first step towards helping me. So for example, I receive an email. Hey, Alejandro, I had this customer for you. Can we jump on a call? Let's make an introduction. Great. Second step, sale. Third step, how can we move this forward and quicker next time? When it comes from me, I normally say like, okay, what are you doing? Who are your customers? What do you tell your customers? What value you bring and so on. What can we do to help them and to make them excited about, other things that are in the industry that maybe they can learn from or benefit from, and then I find my way through the partnership. But if we start immediately with a referral fee and so on, it's honestly hard for me. I don't know if you have different experience, but I prefer to start from the direction of let's help each other because we're people, right? And at a certain point, we'll find a way through business. Fourth is that there are horizontal relationships, vertical relationships. Vertical relationships are more like, I'm the manager, these are the hundreds or thousands of affiliates I'm in chat with. And I agree with Lucas, clear rules, packages that they can work with, something that is very easy to take because you need to basically leverage your time. You are one guy that needs to spend, for example, 10, 20 hours in preparing everything for hundreds of people to execute, ideally like an army, organized army, whatever you have in mind. But if you have a horizontal relationship, you need to basically grow with the person also on the business. So you're going to be chatting with them. We're going to, if something is unclear, next time you'll fix it because both of you are basically learning on the best ways how to make this work. I learned that horizontal relationships are much better and nicer from the relationship point of view, but a bit harder maybe to establish the rules because it's not very clear what are the expectations, the conditions, and so on. And sometimes if you put too much bureaucracy or rules into it, you ruin it. So you need to find a good balance. But when you manage vertical relationship, it's better to be very transparent with the rules, with the conditions, with the structure, with the processes that they must follow. This is for you package A, package B, and then people will have a bit of freedom to execute. And then you're there like the point of contact, like the master that can solve the problems. But in horizontal, it's different. You need to focus more on the relationship and find your way through business. Fifth one is, of course, watch and control your numbers. This is why Okay, a bit of promotion, Martin. This is why tools like Trackdesk exist, because in the end, it's the type of tools that allow you to put all the partnership numbers and links and coupons and email references and everything in one place, where you can actually monitor what is bringing you the results. So I've been talking to some people, and they normally tell me, like, these are the two metrics that I care about. The first one is number of partners. Okay, great. The number of partners must be growing all the time. There's like organic growth, and there's growth that sometimes happens after a conference, an event, and so on. Okay, great. What's the other number? Revenue growth. Do I have more revenue coming from partners or not? I was just chatting and with some people here, and they were telling me, like, yeah, we have 20% of revenue coming from partners. Next year, 30%. So it's interesting to see that there's like growth and path for that, and it's good to watch it. But how about the number of revenue per partner? Sometimes you can drop your number of partners because some of them are just noise, but you increase your revenue because you have better focus. So I would recommend that, of course, it's nice to see more partners, it's nice to see more revenue, but sometimes if you focus your attention on the right, let's say, revenue per partner, then maybe you can grow even faster. Of course, there's more metrics about, number of campaigns executed and all these things, but I would say, like, these are at least the key numbers that you can pay attention to, regardless if we're talking about partnerships, affiliates, or anything else. If you go to affiliates, you need to also care about like fraud and clicks and so on, but I'm talking about partnerships in general. So these are the numbers that I'll ask you to keep in mind. Number 6, focus on your customers' needs, yours and your partners' needs. And what I mean by this is that your initiatives should drive value. It's not just a nice campaign to generate a clickbait, for example, right? So if you do an activity, it should be, for example, a webinar that will help customers grow in what they do. So the next time they think about who is the expert or who can help me, they think about you, they think about your partner, because with these initiatives, many times you're talking to your future customers, the people who are not ready yet to buy your services or products, or who cannot afford your brand because it's maybe like a premium, or who are not that experienced to play your iGaming, whatever. So you need to, in your communication, focus on creating content, creative value that will help your customers understand your value proposition, get closer to your company, and consider you for future business. And from this, I had one more thing in my head. It slipped away. Help me, guys. Throw some energy here. Okay, focus on customers' needs. Focus on customer needs. It will come back. Never mind. Let's go to number 7. Choose who you want to work with. I mean, it's clear. Not every partner will be suitable for what you do. Some of them will steal your time. There will be lots of unexperienced people saying that they can do huge business with you, big promises, and like lots of like work that will not result into nothing, or will be just waste of time. Many relationships that will ask you for meetings because they want to push their product, and basically it's not focusing on the relationship and business that we can build together, not the value that we're bringing to our customers. So in the end, many of the partnerships that we build over time are gonna just die. It's natural that not everything will work out. Of course, if we nurture them, at certain point we'll be friends with the other person, and maybe no business will come out of it, but we have a good friendship. But the ideal scenario is that we build also the business, right? So we need to understand at certain point where to cut off some relationships, partners, affiliates that are not bringing any value, are bringing more noise and more work because I need to care about these guys who have no experience and so on. If you have the capacity, great. Because there's many companies that we spoke to that have, for example, affiliate academy. So They invite people like, hey, you don't know how to be affiliate, you don't know how to promote. Okay, be my affiliate and you will go through this academy that you will learn everything from A to Z. Great. If you have the capacity, do it. But if you don't have the capacity, focus on the ones that will bring you value and business. And you will have a much better time. You will wake up excited about those relationships and not about the amount of work and admin work and the bureaucracy and everything that is behind replying to emails that make no sense to your day. Right? Number 8, where to find the right partners. Not all the partners are in the same places, right? Affiliates might go to conferences. Maybe good partners are sitting on the office across the street. Maybe your best agency who will be a reseller is sitting on different country and they will go to a local meetup like this one, but in, I don't know, Texas. So where are those people? And this is one thing I rescue, one of the things I rescue from Lucas' presentation. We many times think about the ICP, the ideal customer profile. Do we think about the IPP, the ideal partner profile? So maybe it's about narrowing down those 2-3 people that can bring value to our business and we can bring value to their business. Build those avenues, foster their business, and from there we build. But we need to also understand where these people are and how we can get in touch with them. If you need affiliates and you sell candles, okay, check Instagram and you will find them. If you want, for example, people who sell, I don't know, gear for making videos, go to YouTube and contact like all the people who are behind video making. If you want like iGaming affiliates, go to conferences and you will find them, or like find them playing online and see, track that they're working with your competitor, they Hrefs, and get in touch with them. There are other tools that will help you find affiliates. But when it comes to partners, we have, for example, good experience here at Trackdesk working with agencies that have customers that are in the same stage, or let's say in the same territory, because they are building new marketing channels, or they're migrating from different tool. They want to have like better tracking, and then they move to Trackdesk. So they're basically agencies who are auditing affiliate programs. And they say, okay, let's audit your program. How is the tracking working? It's not working and we pay too much for a tool. Okay, let's look for another tool. How is your affiliate recruitment going? Not really well. Okay, let's plan these 2-3 strategies. So we're basically like fitting so well in their world that for their customers it's very natural also to come to us. And when we're talking to our customers, we say, okay, so how is your affiliate program going? Yeah, well, not very well. I'm not even sure I'm doing the right things. Okay, maybe you need an audit. How about we connect you with this other partner? So, okay, I start mixing a bit the topics, but the idea is that we need to keep in mind that we need to build our IPP. We need to understand who we want to talk to, and these people are in different places. So then, once we build the IPP, we can understand where are they and how to connect with them. Do I need to go to meetups? Do I need to go to events? Do I need to contact them on LinkedIn? Do I need to... and so on, so on. Number 9, be proactive and fair with your partners. I think this is quite obvious, but I wanted to put it there. Like around 60% of the people who leave a partnership or affiliate program is because they didn't receive a fair treatment. They were not paid on time. They were excluded some commissions because of this and that with shady answers. They say like, oh, but like this also came to our database, so I cannot count it in as your referral. So there's so many reasons why you stop trusting the relationship that you built, and you just decide to go. As someone here said, we want to sometimes just be heard in this world. So you go to the next person, the next company that will pay attention to you, will treat you fairly, will have clear rules, so you can focus on that relationship, you as an affiliate or you as someone who is benefiting as well from this promotion. In the end, imagine if 50-60% of the partner relationships that you have are gone because of unfair treatment with payments. Imagine how many are also gone because you were not proactive in communication. because you didn't give anything and you just took from them. And then you end up with 10-20% of people that will last very little time until your partnership program is gone. And the last one is that live channels are the key. And I would like you to please raise hands here. So who of you, for example, for partnerships, relationship with affiliates, business partnerships, how many of you, for example, use Telegram or WhatsApp for communicating? 60%, let's say. How many of you use, for example, Slack channels? Okay, good. This is actually one of the learnings I had, because we had an idea of building partnership maybe a bit old-fashioned, because we were sending the email with the conditions, we were agreeing on the terms, we had a call, and then we sent like the NDA and the contract and agreement, and things got a bit muddy in the communication, on the internet cable that connects us both. It was getting stuck somewhere there. So then how many of those relationships got, let's say, lost because the other person didn't want to read so many pages, they never sent the signed agreement, they decided that, this is too slow, we had a meeting 2 weeks ago, now 2 weeks later you're sending me like a draft version of the agreement, then, like 2 weeks later, maybe we'll have it like signed. So in the meantime, we lost business, we lost time, we lost the momentum and the traction. So for us, what really worked is that, okay, partnership opportunity, let's jump on a call. Okay, who should I add to the Slack channel immediately? And it's working so much better because we're getting so much quicker traction that the first partnerships that we built were like, hey, an email here, I might refer you someone, to, okay, let's create the Slack channel immediately, like every day chatting, every second day or every week, like receiving new leads, talking about customers, learning. And we learn more about what they do and what we do because we're communicated all the time. And then we create Slack channel with customers, both of us. So the experience and knowledge that we get is much richer than if we just do it over email, where you need to wait for the other person to reply. Maybe it's different time zone, maybe they're on a business trip. Whereas Slack, sometimes it's like, hey, Alejandro, send me a calendar, I have a call for you. And it's much quicker. And also in Slack, one thing that we're learning is that you can put the tabs on top, and the one can have all the links, for example, of all the calendars and all the resources. And you can use also the canvas for templates. So you can create like templates of communication, email, introduction. You can add the files there with your presentations and everything. So then instead of having everything like somehow on email here a bit and the other one on different email, we have everything on Slack, one place, and it's much easier for all the parties. So with that said, Martin, shall I announce it? Yeah. So we have the idea of also building a Slack community with you. Yeah. The goal here is that we build a partnership community, that we focus on growth and partnerships, on opportunities for all of us to connect and do business with each other, maybe share some interesting insights in the community, maybe look for new job opportunities in the future, but mainly for us to become a community. The dream of this is to make something bigger than Trackdesk. Trackdesk is a nice place where to work, is a tracking solution. Many of you have your own businesses or you're part of a big company, but in the end, we all want to be connected through things that are, valuable to us. And we say like how we can do this in a way that is bringing a bit more impact to society and the place where we're at. So we're in Prague, why not building something here in Prague? So if we can do that, and you can invite then each other to go for lunch or drinks afterwards or anything, we'll be more than happy that this connection that we're building here is helping you foster those relationships. So that's today's message, and it's a bit of wrap up. And I wanted to know, I listed 10 things. Is there anything that you say like, this was like key learning for me, something that I had to fix, and then things move forward? Because I also want to learn, of course. So if you have to list like thing, maybe 11, 12, anybody, please, if you have any experience, I would love to hear it.
I have a question for everyone because we talk always about partnership this, partnership that, but it's always like affiliate program and everything where basically one side is looking to leverage the other side for the business and the other gets money. Mm-hmm. But in, as I see it, I don't see it as partnership. I see it just like a business model, business cooperation. Like what kind of what I'm looking for, like for real partnership, but basically we're offering, for example, when I do a partnership, we do like a lot of marketing partnership where like the business is not only about you bringing something to me and I'm paying for it, but like, hey, let's share our marketing, basically events, let's do marketing events for our common customers, and therefore we can grow, not only have some revenue exchanges, but like have a real partnership. And also maybe I will be able to promote your business. Therefore, I will have some money from you because of that. But not the goal is not the money. The goal is the partnership.
And make it the pie bigger for all of us.
Yeah.
So this is what I meant also by horizontal relationships. So, for example, if we talk just about affiliate programs, then there's, I would say, like three styles. Like either you treat them as a nice community that you're part of, or you treat them as sales people that will be your army, or you will just not necessarily like manage them well. You will just like share materials with them and do whatever, like, like disconnected marketing approach, maybe I would call it. And we see that normally the best result, we have it when we treat them as Salesforce. I need to train you like exactly, how to sell my product, what to say to people, how to present and everything. But in this type of partnerships, it's different. You don't train the other person. You maybe like exchange, like how to talk about my brand and so, but basically you're building a relationship first. So there's a...
That's a comment again.
Yes.
I actually think it really depends about the company you're working with, the size, the product, and so many different levels. So that's why we don't call it make partnership. We call it ecosystem, and we have different types of partnerships. We have affiliate partnership, then we have solution partnership, which is something what I do. It's not one-way street. We need the partners because we don't have implementation power in the company. So we need partners to implement it. So we bring them business and they bring us leads. It's working both ways. There is also marketing collaboration and much more. Then we have technology partnership. Then we have also academic alliances. Then we have a channel partnership. And there is so many more partnerships, and each of everyone is doing different things. There is different level of commission, different level of communication, slightly different programs. So I would say for me, affiliate, if you say for me, it's purely marketing because we are paying money for bringing us signups. With partnership is we are really working like every day, one by one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So this is how I see it.
No.
Can I comment?
Yes, and then we have a question here, right? Or I'm not gonna force anybody.
Let's continue with the discussion.
I just want to say what Maketa said about different kinds of partnerships that also we work with like service partners, and that's where we really work with like joint value proposition, how we complement each other, and what package we bring to the market, the partner. So